It's a great time to get outdoors, enjoy so many of the parks and things that we have in our backyard and other states don't. With us now, let's bring in Ron Olson. He's the chief for the Parks and Recreation Division for the Michigan Department of Natural Resources. Ron, thank you for being with us.
Yeah, glad to be here. Thank you.
You survived winter.
Oh, yes. Yep. It was, like you said, there was some milder days, a few bad ones, but we plowed through, I guess.
Right. I will say it seemed like the month of February, because it did get so cold, here in our area, we did see a lot of people out on the ice this year compared to previous years because we had a pretty mild winter in years past.
Yeah, and there was enough cold weather to do ice-related activities and things like that, and ice fishing and skating and things like that. But and it lingered on enough where people could engage in that. And we did have snow at times where people could partake in snow activities. But we did experience really a lot of folks that were traveling further north where the snow and whatnot are more reliable. So people were moving around to find that winter experience.
Ron, I will say we take our dog over to Dodge Park number 4 weekly. It just seems like every other day lately. But with that, I don't understand people. When the ice was starting to melt, we had those really warm days. People that would still get out on the ice on their snowmobiles. And I'm just waiting. I'm like, hey, I'm listening for the splash because they're going to fall through. There's really no way for you guys to monitor people getting out on the waterways, right?
No, it's difficult, and we try to warn people, particularly towards the end of the winter, to be mindful of the ice. And a lot of times the news media will put those on. You usually hear about people stranded on ice floes and mostly on the big lakes, but and occasionally someone does go through. It also, similarly, in the beginning part of the season, we did have some incidents where snowmobiles went through the ice before it was thick enough. And so it's kind of on both ends.
So with that, as we start to head into spring, how are you guys looking when it comes to hiring? I know last year was a challenge.
Well, we've resumed our full hiring of summer workers. We hire about 1,300 for the system throughout the state. And so far, it's going a lot better than last year. Keep in mind, we were paused, so we didn't really get started till May. And it took a while. We never did fill out all of our jobs. But this year, we've changed our system where you can apply right directly online, and it's much more streamlined. And so far, the reports from many of the park units are positive in terms of applicants. We still have some areas that, depending on their location, that still have opportunities. In fact, I should say that anybody that's listening is looking for a great summer job. There's still lots of opportunity out there, but so far the process and the progress is good, I'd say.
So what type of jobs are available?
Well, the summer jobs, short-term workers, people support the regular park rangers and that, and help keeping the parks clean and tidy, and greeting the public, customer service, working the front gates, whether it's to get people in the right campsites, and certainly doing park maintenance work is a very critical part of what we do, and refuse management and a lot of other things like that all go into making the system work.
Ron Olson with us here on the MegaCast. He's the chief for the Parks and Recreation Division with the Michigan DNR. And with that, Ron, do you guys anticipate it's going to be another busy year, or not so much since more and more people are feeling more comfortable with traveling?
We anticipate that based on the numbers and the indicators so far, that we're already up 30% on our reservations and bookings for camping and lodging. And keep in mind that this time last year, was, well, I shouldn't say this time, but up through the early part of March, we were still ahead 30%. And in 2019 into the early 2020 year before the COVID hit, this is 30% above that. So, and we were anticipating last year to be almost a record year. So this year we expect to be very, very busy. And in fact, once we got going June 22nd in full course in terms of people coming out, the number of people camping and lodging really accelerated a lot, and our usership actually of day users increased by 25%. And so, needless to say, we anticipate this year to be a very, very busy year.
Make your reservations early. Hey, by the way, DNR celebrating 100 years. Congratulations.
Yeah, how about that? Yes, that's great. The DNR was created 100 years ago. In fact, we just celebrated year before last, 2019, the 100th anniversary of the state park system, which formed in a different way and then became part of the DNR then. So yeah, it's exciting to think about the legacy and all the great conservation and things that have evolved over that 100 years.
With that, just about another minute here with you, Ron, on the MegaCast. Anything else that you want to talk about before we say goodbye, other than to remind people, make your reservations early?
Yeah, just to go out, keep in mind that we still have, the unfortunate dynamics of COVID, and we're asking people to come out and enjoy themselves, but to be mindful of that and social distancing, be patient and all that. But the opportunities will be there in our bathrooms, and all the support things will be open fully as they were prior to COVID, but this spring will be different in that regard. But still, we have to cope with the dynamics of the safety, et cetera.
Right. And I would think more people are going to feel comfortable going out more this year because by the time we really get the summer season going, vaccinations are going to be available to everyone in the public.
Yeah, we anticipate and hope that the numbers trend in the right direction and all of those sorts of things in the vaccine. And but we, like last year, we experienced huge crowds and visitation in the UP, and that's a good bellwether of people traveling.
Well, Ron, to you and your team, we want to say thank you because you guys are keeping the parks open for us, and it really is such a huge asset for us, and it's what makes Michigan, Michigan. So thank you to you and your team, and we're wishing you the best in the upcoming season.
Yes, great. And on behalf of all of our dedicated staff, we are be open to host people and enjoy themselves.